have a mission to figure out what has happened to this computer. I've not really inspected it too much yet, but so far what we're looking at, we have a EVGA RTX 2070, some nice cable comb sleeves, a Corsair liquid cooler, that's a 240 mil. We got the Z390 Prime Asus board, and what we're guessing so far is the actual issue is the Corsair RM850 power supply. This being said, the power supply, you said lightning struck and it just didn't turn on no more?
Yeah.
We're going to be testing with another power supply. It's not as good as this one. If it works, it will boot the system. And when lightning strikes, it could be anything causing this. And today we're going to figure out exactly what's wrong with this computer. We're going to be testing with a Solid Gear 550 watt, 80 plus certified. It's nothing much, but this will definitely boot his system. Plenty enough power to be able to boot a 2070. And what is your processor in this? You know,
i5.
An i5, 9600K?
I have no idea.
It's probably a 9600K. All right, because it is Z390. So, but that's what we're gonna go ahead and do, and we'll be right back with you. All right, so our first step here in just testing the power supply is obviously just plugging in, check it from another power source completely. I've not tested the other power supply yet, but I did try this, which is a 24-pin jump starter on any power supply. What these do is it basically just turns the power supply on, and everything else connected to it, besides the 24-pin, will turn on. That includes the liquid cooler, fans. By doing that, the power supply did turn on. Unfortunately, it will not turn on when connected to the board. Usually this means faulty hardware. It's not something anybody ever wants to hear, but that does seem like we have to go through the matter of elimination with this, and it will just take a little bit. So what we've had to do at this point was take out the whole motherboard from the case. The case just has the power supply left in it, the liquid cooler, pretty much everything else. Using the same power supply, once again, that I know works. We just kind of didn't even put the fan on there, the stock fan, because it didn't seem viable at this point if it's not going to boot. So what we're looking at is just the CPU, the motherboard, the power supply, one RAM stick, bare minimum to boot. That's how any system should boot. This is a matter of elimination. So I'm just gonna click the power button here. Now you'll see that the board actually turns on with the RGBs, which is just power from the power supply. So it's going through the board. There's a little button up here, it says power switch, not turning on. So that pretty much puts us down to the CPU or motherboard. So we're gonna have to swap out and test each one separately, because it could also be both. And we'll be back more on that later.